Okay, in this video we continue our discussion on counting the number of spanning trees in an arbitrary graph. So in this video we are going to prove this statement. So this statement says, suppose that we have two graphs G1 and G2, okay, and these two graphs share exactly one vertex, so with exactly one vertex in common. Then the statement says, in order to find the number of spanning trees in G1 union G2, okay, find the number of spanning trees in G1, number of spanning trees in G2, and take the product. Okay, and here this G1 and union G2 is defined in the usual set U, okay, graph union kind of thing. So here the vertex set of G1 union G2 will be equal to the vertex set of G1 union vertex set of G2, and that set of G1 union G2 will be equal to that set of G1 union that set of G2. Okay, so that is how we take the union of two graphs. Okay, so the statement is, if we are given two graphs G1 and G2, and if these two graphs have exactly one vertex in common, then we can use this equation to find the number of spanning trees in this union graph. Okay, so the idea is something like this. Anyway, so suppose that this is our graph G1, and suppose that we have one more graph G2, and suppose that this is the common vertex. Let's call that common vertex U. Okay, and here let this graph be, say, G, and G is obtained by taking the union of G1 and G2. So the vertex set of the whole graph will be the vertex set of G1 union vertex set of G2, and that set of the whole graph will be equal to that set of G1 union that set of G2. Okay, and here this statement says, if you want to find the number of spanning trees for G, then find the number of spanning trees in this graph G1. So that will be equal to G1 by definition, and similarly find the number of spanning trees in G2. So it will be like T of G2, and once you find T of G1 and T of G2, take the product. So that will be equal to T of G1 times T of G2. Okay, so that's how we are going to use this statement to find the number of spanning trees. So here the thing is that these two graphs should have exactly one vertex in common. So before proving, let's look into one example. So let's consider this particular graph G. So here we can see that this graph it can be obtained by taking the union of these two graphs. So here this G is nothing but the union of this graph with this graph G2, and here the common vertex is this vertex number 5. So here U is equal to 5. The common vertex is 5. Okay, so in order to find the number of spanning trees here, okay, only need to find the number of spanning trees here. Okay, that is T of G1. Then find the number of spanning trees here. So that is going to be T of G2. Then take the product. So from the previous video we saw the number of spanning trees, okay, of this graph G1 is 8, and here we have a C5, and the number of spanning trees of C5 is 5. So we have these two numbers, this is 8 and this is 5, take the product, so 40. So this graph, it has 40 different spanning trees. Okay, so let's go and prove this statement. Okay, the proof is an interesting proof. So we define a function and we prove that the function is bijunction, okay, on two sets. So we will see how, not two sets, three sets. So we will see how those three sets are defined and how to define those functions, okay, and to come up with a bijunction and so forth. Okay, so let G be the union of these two graphs G1 union G2, and the common vertex Okay, common vertex be u. Okay, so let's define three functions and let t of u, okay, not t of u, let t of g be the set of all spanning trees. Okay, spanning trees of G1, and let T of G1 be the set of all spanning trees of G2, not G2, okay, T of G be the set of all spanning trees of G, okay, and T of G1 be the set of all spanning trees of G1, and T of G2 can be the set of all spanning trees of G2. Okay, so next what we are going to do is we are going to using these three sets we are going to define a function, and we will prove that that function is a bijective function. Okay, then after that, okay, we count the cardinality of those two sets, okay, and that will give the answer. So let's see how that is done. Okay, so assume that this G1 has a n1 vertices and G2 has say n2 vertices. Okay, so that says then G contains n1 plus n2 minus 1 vertices. The reason is, okay, it has a common vertex u. Okay, so the total number of vertices in G will be like n1 plus n2 minus 1. Okay, so next, as I said, we are going to define a function using these three sets. Okay, let's see how that function is defined. Okay, let's call that function f. So let's define a function from the set of all spanning trees of G to the cross product of the set of all spanning trees in G1 cross product with set of all spanning trees in G2. Okay, so here what this f does is, okay, this function f, it sent, okay, a spanning tree in G, it sent a spanning tree T, okay, so it sent a spanning tree T which belongs to this set T of G, okay, of G to, okay, so let me call spanning tree yes, okay, because, okay, we already used T here, right? Okay, so f send a spanning tree S of G2 the ordered pair of subgraphs, okay, so let's call these subgraphs S1 comma S2. So that's how we define this function. It sends a spanning tree in G to a cross product, okay, T1 is a spanning tree, okay, so here S1 belongs to this set and S2 belongs to this set, so it's an ordered pair, okay, so S1 comma S2 where, okay, this S1 is going to be the subgraph of G1, so it is related to this thing, right? So S1 is the subgraph of G1 induced by by the edges of this graph. Yes. Okay, edges of S, that is in G1. Okay, and similarly, so this S1 is a subgraph of G1 induced by the edges of S, that is in G1. So okay, we can say very easily see that this S1 is a spanning tree for G1, and similarly S2 is also defined that way. So let me write down for S2. Okay, and S2 is the subgraph of G2. Okay, so we are dealing with this particular thing, S2, and S2 will be like S2 is a subgraph of G2 induced by the edges of S. Okay, so remember S is this spanning tree. Okay, by the edges of S, okay, that is in G2. Okay, so this function f send a spanning tree S of G. Okay, this S belongs to this set, to the ordered pair of subgraphs S1, S2, okay, where this S1 belongs to this one and S2 belongs to this. Okay, anyway, we need to prove that anyway. It's very easy to see. Ordered pair of subgraphs S1 and S2, where S1 is a subgraph of G1 induced by the edges of S. So S is a spanning tree. Okay, and because of that reason, okay, S1 will also be a spanning tree, and that spanning tree will be a spanning tree of G1. And similarly, S2 is the subgraph of G2 induced by the edges of S, that is in G2. Okay, so here we can very easily see that the graph S1 is a spanning tree of G1, and because okay, here we can see that okay, this S1 is constructed using this S. Okay, so it is going to be a subgraph of G1 and it is induced by the edges of S. Okay, and that is in G1. So okay, S is a spanning tree, so that says S1 is also a spanning tree, but moreover S1 is a spanning tree for G1, and similarly we can also see that S2 is a spanning tree for G2. The graph S1 is a spanning tree of G, okay, because okay, this S is a spanning tree, okay, it belongs to this set, right? So because S is a spanning tree, so it's a tree, it is acyclic, because S is acyclic and connected. Okay, and moreover, okay, this particular thing, it is obtained G1, it's a subgraph of G1 induced by the edges of S. Okay, so it will contain those two edges belonging to G1. Okay, so since it is a spanning tree, this S contains all the edges in G1 and all the, not all the edges, all the vertices in G1 and all the vertices in G2. Okay, so that says the graph S1 is a spanning tree of G1, and similarly S2 is also a spanning tree for G2. Okay, so S1 is a spanning tree of G1. Okay. And similarly you can also prove for argue for S2, similarly for for S2. Okay, so we have to prove that this is a bijunction. Okay, so moreover, okay, we can see that the inverse image of a pair. So inverse image means we are going from this to this ordered pair to this tree. Okay, moreover, the inverse image of a pair T1 T2. Okay, I think we call that S1 S2, right? S1 S2, which belongs to that T of G1 cross T of G2. Okay, on this side, the inverse image of the pair S1 S2 is a connected subgraph of because here we are dealing with spanning tree, so it will contain all the vertices of G1 and if you consider spanning tree for G2 will contain all the vertices of G2 and and all those spanning trees do have that common vertex, so it is a connected subgraph of it is a connected subgraph of G. Okay, and if you look into the number of edges and vertices here, we can see that this is not only a connected subgraph, it is also a tree. Okay, so here we can see that this thing is connected subgraph of G. Okay, connected subgraph of G containing n1 plus n2 minus 1 vertices, and since both of them are spanning trees, they have n1 minus 1 plus n2 minus 1, which is equal to n1 plus n2 minus 2, okay, which can be written like this: n1 plus n2 minus 1, okay, this quantity minus 1. So it has this many vertices, it is connected, okay, and number of edges is 1 less than that. Okay, so it's a spanning tree because it contains all the vertices and it is a tree. Okay, this many edges. Okay, so that says it's a spanning tree. It's a spanning tree of G. Okay, so that's what I said here. The inverse image of the pair is a connected subgraph of G containing this many vertices and this many edges. Okay, so it looks like a tree and it contains all the vertices, so it's a spanning tree of G. Okay, so again we can see that the function f is a bijunction. Okay, f is a since it's a tree is uniquely defined by its edges. Okay, so the function f is a bijunction since a tree is uniquely defined by its edges. Okay, and here we can see that that set of G is nothing but that set of G1 union that set of G2. That's how we define that set for taking the union. Okay, and that says the cardinality of this set okay, that is equal to the cardinality of this cross product. Okay, both the set are same since we are dealing with a bijunction. Okay, so the cardinality of this set T of G is equal to the cardinality of T of G1 cross product with the cardinality of G2. Okay, and this implies, okay, which implies T of n, number of spanning trees. So we define T of n, T of G to be the set of all spanning trees of G. Okay, so this cardinality will be equal to T of n. Okay, and we know from basic set theory the cardinality of A cross B is nothing but the cardinality of A times cardinality of B. Okay, so that is going to be equal to the cardinality of this set. So that is going to be the number of spanning trees in G1 times number of spanning trees in G2. Okay, and that's the proof. Okay, so here we can use this statement, okay, for finding the number of spanning trees in a graph. Okay, if the graph satisfies this condition. Okay, we can split the graph into two subgraphs in such a way that, okay, those two subgraphs have only one vertex in common. Okay, so if that's the case, then we can find the number of spanning trees by simply using this equation. Okay, and again we can see that if you have, say, some other graph here that share this vertex, so in order to find the number of spanning trees, find the number of spanning trees here, number of spanning trees here, number of spanning trees here, take the product of those three. Okay, and similarly if you have another graph here, okay, that share with this thing, okay, what you could do is first find the number of spanning trees here, then find the number of spanning trees here, take the product. Okay, so it's a very useful equation to find the number of spanning trees. Okay.